Asymptotes of a rational function. Objectives. Number 1. Students will be able to identify or find the vertical asymptote of a rational function in general form. Number 2. Students will be able to find the whole of a rational function. Number 3. Students will be able to determine the vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote from a graph. Number 4. Students will be able to find the domain of a rational function. Before we start practicing, let's take a small introduction. Rational, or in other words, reciprocal functions, are functions that have a constant on its denominator and a polynomial on its denominator. The rational of a function can be determined by finding the expression for f of x. What are the asymptotes? As you can see here in this question, that there is a graph given. That means that we need to find the asymptotes from the graph. Always note that the vertical asymptote are the x values, and it's always the line that passes through the x-axis. And the horizontal asymptote is actually the opposite. It is the y values, and it's always the line that passes through the y-axis. As you can see here that the vertical asymptote passed through 2, which is x equals 2, and the horizontal asymptote passed through 1, through the y-axis, which is y equals 1. So the answer choice is C, which is x equals 2 and y equals 1. Find the vertical asymptote, select all that apply. For this question, we need to find the vertical asymptote. But here we have two solutions, or two x values, so we need to solve for x. In order to solve for x, we need to apply each bracket equals to 0. As you can see here in the first bracket, I applied it to 0. So x minus 6 equals 0. I added 6 to both sides, and the answer is x equals 2. I did the same for the second one, and the answer was x equals negative 5. So the answer for this question is A, x equals 6, and C, x equals negative 5. Does this function have any vertical asymptote? If so, what are their equations? Unfortunately, in this equation, there is no vertical asymptote because as you can see here, everything is simplified. And when everything is simplified, we can cancel the denominator with the denominator because they have the same signs. So if we cancel them, there is no value in the denominator. That means that there is no vertical asymptote. Quick note, the domain of a function is the set of all possible inputs for the function. Domain are x values. What is the domain? F of x equals 3 over x minus 4 plus 2. The domain are all x values, so we need to solve for x in this equation. Domain x minus 4 equals to 0. We substituted equals to 0 to find the solution. I added 4 to both sides and the answer is x equals 4. So the domain is all real numbers except x equals 4. So the answer choice is C, which is x equals to 4. What is a whole? If there is the same factor in the denominator and the denominator, there is a whole. Set this factor equal to 0 and solve. The solution is the x value of the whole. What is the x value of the whole? Gx equals x minus 2, x plus 10 over x plus 2, x minus 2. So as we said in the last slide that each factor that cancels each other from the denominator and the denominator, this is the whole. As you can see here in the denominator we have x minus 2 as well in the denominator. And these two factors will cancel each other because they have the same signs. Since they are canceling each other, we need to sort for x to find the whole. So I substituted the function or the bracket equals to 0 and gave me an answer x equals 2. That means that this is the whole, and the answer is A, 2. Thanks for watching.